Hi everybody!
Hi everybody!
It's me and Caitlin, and Lydia's like, alright, off
She's
the
right
camera.
here.
But we wanted to do something a little different this week. We're going to do a devotional / story time. So basically, I got this idea, what was it, probably a month ago?
It's been about a month ago.
Yeah, so Dad was basically preaching one day in our outside service, and he said something that immediately caught my attention because I write sermon notes down while preachers are preaching. And he said something that really caught my attention. I have my notes right here so I don't forget. But he was talking about the 3 Hebrew boys in, I don't know the exact chapter in Daniel, right?
I don't either.
I don't know the exact chapter. But he was talking about the 3 Hebrew boys and how they had tremendous courage. Lydia's staring at me. How they had tremendous courage to stand when everybody else was kneeling to the idol that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And that really caught my attention because, you know, sometimes in life, it's hard to stand sometimes. And for some odd reason, it reminded me of an ocean and rip currents. And it reminded me of that. And, you know, sometimes life feels like an ocean. Sometimes it feels like we're caught in rip currents, and they're taking us and they're knocking us down and they're throwing us around and they're beating us all up, and it's hard to really get out of one. And you know, some people are stuck in spiritual rip currents right now, and some get out of them easier and some get out of them harder than others. And so it reminded me of a story that me and Caitlin's about to tell you of one time when we were caught in a actual rip current. Now, like I just said, there's spiritual rip currents that we're in, and there's literal rip currents, and we were in a literal rip current.
Yes.
And me and Caitlin's going to tell you the story right now.
Yes.
Okay, Caitlin, you want to start it?
I got something to say real quick.
Okay.
While you were saying that, all I could think of was 2020 as a rip current.
Yes. 2020 has been... 2020 has been kind of a rough year. It's been a rough year.
Just bad.
Yeah, like we've had
for everyone.
We've had a lot of people have passed away that we've known. Our grandpa passed away. We've had a lot of things happen in 2020. So it's been
way of having to live.
A new way of living.
How to do everything's different, pretty much.
Everything. You hate to look at it, but everything is like, it's just a potential, like, you know, virus. Something's like always scaring you.
Impending doom.
And everything's just going on. The world feels literally out of control right now with everything that's going on. So it literally feels like a literal rip current.
Yes.
And a spiritual rip current too. So, okay, Caitlin, you going to tell the story, or am I going to start it?
Okay, first off, I'll say we were at Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach.
Oh, yes.
And we were, back then, Mom would let us swim in the ocean. We don't swim in the ocean anymore because
that flesh-eating bacteria.
It's flesh-eating bacteria. And don't even get me started on that.
No.
It makes me really agitated that they're polluting the ocean like that. So
Caitlin's a big... likes the oceans clean.
Like I like nature taken care of.
But Caitlin's like a big...
I'm very passionate about that.
Take care of the earth kind of person.
Yes. So this is probably when I was probably 11, 12, maybe, something like that. Maybe even 10. I don't know. It's been a long time ago. And we were out, and one of my favorite things to do at the beach is I love to swim and play in the ocean, and I love to, like, ride the waves, like, whenever, like, get to the point where they're not crashing, but, like, where you can just... Oh, that's the cat, by the way. He's
knocking on the door.
He's trying to get in here. Mr. Gray, quit.
Get in.
Okay, he might hop on us. I don't know.
Please don't hop on me. That
cat, but anyway...
crazy.
Anyway, oh, he's gonna hop on the chair. Anyway, I like to ride the waves where they don't crash and where you can kind of like just go over them. And Mom will only let us go out so far, especially when we were little.
Yeah, because Mom don't get in the ocean.
Because Mom doesn't. She don't want to have to. She will come in there and come get us out, but she would be very angry if she had to do that. And this one time, and I don't listen very good. I'm very hard-headed.
She don't listen to nothing.
I'm very hard-headed. And Mom would say, don't you go any further. And then I would say, all right, I won't. And I would go inch out a little bit.
No, me and Caitlin talked about this. Caitlin said, Mom is on the beach right now.
Not paying attention to how far we are. Because
she
always watches like a hawk.
She watches like a hawk, but Lydia was on the beach. Because Mom don't like, when Lydia was little, when she was little, she was little.
Yeah.
And Mom watched her like a hawk, and she watched us like a hawk, but Lydia, she didn't want her in the water because Lydia was like really small.
Really, really little.
And because Lydia was premature when she was a baby, so Lydia is really, really tiny. And so Mom had her on the beach because she didn't want her in the water, but she let me and Caitlin go out.
But Dad was there too, so Dad was watching us too.
Yeah, and they like watch us like hawks when we're in the water. But Caitlin and me had got, where the waves were. Before, it wasn't a far distance.
No.
And Caitlin said, hey, Mom isn't paying attention right now. And the one time that Mom wasn't paying attention, and she said, Mom isn't paying attention right now.
It was literally probably the second that she was looking at Lydia that I said that.
Because Caitlin was in the water and she kept going, okay, Mom isn't paying attention right now. We could inch out just a little bit at a time. Mom won't even notice we moved. That was her plan, and I went along with it because, I didn't want to, but she was going, I was going. I didn't listen to him. I told you no.
Yeah.
But I went anyway because, we're like this, and if she's going, I'm going. We ain't being separated. Okay, continue.
Okay, so we kept on going, and then Mom would say, that's enough. I said don't go any further.
And she was screaming on the beach. There was people around.
Apparently from where her view was, it probably wasn't as far looking as, to us. We kept inching out. And then we kept going, and then Mom would be, I guess what happened was Mom was like, okay, they're handling that decently. They don't seem like they're struggling.
We sat in one spot for a while.
Yeah.
That sounds
terrible.
Awful. We sound awful.
That sounds terrible.
We sat in one spot to trick her into thinking we were being good.
And then we're not. And then we would go a little bit, and then eventually we got to this place. I don't know how far it was. It was really, really far out. We got to where there was nothing. There was
no waves breaking.
The waves weren't breaking, and they weren't even getting to the point where where they try to break, when they start to form. We weren't even there anymore. Okay. And there was silence. There was nothing. There was nothing there. We heard nobody talking. We heard nobody playing. There was nobody playing that far. We heard not even adults. And there was nothing going on. Nothing. We only heard the water, and that was it. And not even the crashing water. We just heard I don't even know how to explain it. Just kind of the water.
It was quiet.
It was.
Everything was peaceful and quiet. No water was breaking. The water barely wasn't even moving. It was just kind of.
It was
we were just there.
Kind of flat, kind of. Before it started, we were here and then. The waves breaking were out there.
And there was those little things that they put out in the ocean.
Yeah. Those little buoys things.
The buoy things.
We were past that, I think.
And the little wood sticks that they put out.
Yeah.
We were past those. And we were past all the adults out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we were out there and it was really quiet, and me and Caitlin was
It got a little eerie.
Me and Caitlin was okay, this is kind of weird. There's nothing going on right now.
It got too quiet.
And all of a sudden, seagulls.
No, what was happening was when you're out in nature, you need to pay attention to the signs of it. Birds especially, because they will tell you things of what's going on. That sounds crazy, but it's truth. Animals will warn you about impending danger. And what was happening was there was only one seagull out there swimming. We were here and we were sharing literally the same. If you would have drawn a line, you would have had a straight line to that seagull going to the side.
Yes, we were right in one line
a horizontal line. And that seagull was just chilling. He was just chilling. Okay. And it was perfectly quiet. And then all of a sudden, that seagull took off.
It started it started screaming.
It started acting weird.
It started screaming a
yeah, and then it just took off. And I was
oh,
as soon as it did that, I said, Abigail, we got to go.
Yeah,
because I thought a shark was coming.
Yeah.
Or there.
Me and Caitlin was man, we really need to we need to get back to the beach or get back to
it was something
water.
I knew immediately when I did that. I felt
we all got a feeling. Like, it was like, you got to get back. You got to get back to where you were at that moment.
I thought a shark was there.
And then Mom.
It might have been.
Mom noticed how far we were. And people on the beach were going, hey. Like, we could see people on the beach telling Mom, hey, look. Out there, and Mom stood up and come to the edge of the water, and she said, "Girls!"
But she literally looked that big from where we were.
Everybody on the beach literally looked like an ant. No joke, like an ant. And Mom, we heard her we couldn't even hear her that good.
Barely could see her.
And she went, "Girls, get back here right now, or I'm coming in there. Get back!" And that's at the moment we tried to start swimming back. What do you know? We were trapped in a rip current.
Yeah.
Big.
I think it literally started as soon as we realized that we were in danger, because I felt like I was in danger.
Yes.
And I tried to walk, and actually tried to swim straight towards the beach.
You know something?
I could not do it.
No, we were sitting on sand. We walked there, and then all of a sudden, when we got to that deep end, it kind of, like, the ocean don't drop off, but it kind of like it don't like just end. But we kind of like, it was like a shelf. We like stepped off of the shelf.
Like
it went deep.
Like we had got to the point to where we were actually swimming like
you had to doggy paddle, or you had to swim so fast because you couldn't touch the bottom of where we were.
Yeah.
But
we were like, there was like a kind of like a ditch. I guess it was like a hollow in the ocean, because we didn't get that far to where the ocean gets deep like that.
But we didn't drop off like that area.
Like not like that, but it must have been where like a ditch, and we were right, like we had just left that, and then I literally swam, got onto like the bank of that little, where that sand is, and I'm so glad I did, because as soon as I did that, I could not get any further forward.
We were trapped in like a rip current, like a big one, and like you said you were like 11, so that meant I was like what, 9, 10,
something.
8, 9?
Something like that.
So we were even shorter back then, so we were probably what, 4,
probably
9?
Something like that.
So we were little, and we were trying to get out of that rip current. And, you know, I tried. Caitlin's a lot like this. Like, in an emergency, you try to prepare for emergencies. Caitlin's big on that. Prepare for an emergency, and don't get in a situation where you have to have one. That's like our Papa Bud. He's like, always prepare for an emergency and don't get into the situation where you're in one.
That's what I try to do.
Well,
not with this, apparently. But.
Well, you know, you don't think that you're going to get caught in a rip current. You don't think that. And so I panicked. I know how to get out of a rip current, but I panicked.
I don't know if we knew back then.
Like, you swim sideways.
I think we didn't. Mom always lets us know about weather and how to survive it.
Mom's a big weather person.
But I don't know if like we knew that back then.
I don't think we were thinking.
But I kept trying, and I was starting to get really nervous. And back then I had no fear of nothing.
It was bad. I started like bunny hopping over the water, but every time I would hop over, you know, the wave, I'd try to hop over the water, it would send you back like 3 feet.
And I started panicking because literally I was on that bank, and when I tried to take a step, the water, it felt like where my feet was, the sand
was going back.
Pulling me back like a conveyor belt, like pulling me back.
It was moving
and it was pushing me back into the little pool with Abigail.
And then every time you would try to jump out of it, me and Kayla got so panicky that we started jumping over the water, trying to just jump so we could get some distance.
On the bank and to walk a little bit.
And it would sling us back. It was like literally getting pulled by someone grabbing the back of our shirt.
It felt like we were getting pulled to the ocean.
And they would throw us back, and then we'd get water in our eyes and water down our throat. And it was like, oh no, and the sand started like shifting, and we couldn't stand up. So we got to the point where we were supporting ourselves swimming. That's the only way it could go. And Caitlin broke out of the rip current.
I don't know how. Because I was closer to that bank. And I got my feet on the bank. And then I fought. Like, it was a monumental struggle.
She was fighting.
I fought to get onto that bank and to take a step away from that hole we were in.
And I was panicking because
I was getting really nervous.
The water was pulling me back. So Caitlin somehow broke through it and was at least a good 5 feet ahead of me. And I was going. And I said, Caitlin, come back and help me.
I thought she was being drama.
I said,
Abigail's drama over
I
everything.
am not. I said, Caitlin, come back and help me. And
I said, stand up, Abigail. Just stand up. I thought she was playing around.
I said, of all the last words, because I thought I was dying. Like, I thought I was.
I didn't think I thought she was playing around. I didn't realize she was in a bad way.
I told myself, of all the last words that I am going to hear Caitlin say, Abigail, stand up. And I said, if I get out of this rip current alive, I'm going to take her and I'm going to ram her head into the sand because she just literally, Caitlin's so loyal.
Thank you.
You're so loyal. But I guess with Jaws on the horizon and
I thought
the
she
water
was playing.
gonna drown me, she just left. She just literally deserted me.
She was playing around, being ridiculous.
She deserted me.
My thoughts were, why won't you stand up? If you're not going to stand up and help yourself, then
she said
you'll
that.
just play around.
She said, if you're not going to stand up and help yourself, then you're just going to go back further. Because I'm not going to do anything about it. Because you got to help yourself. And I said...
I would not have said that.
I said, how rude is that? I am drowning.
Yeah, we got to fight.
And
literally while we were fighting for our lives.
While we were fighting for our lives. we were fighting.
Though.
And I told myself, I am going to die in this water. Because I'm not a good swimmer.
I'm not a good swimmer either. Not what you would think of a good swimmer. I can swim, but
I'm not one to
we might have been better than we thought to escape the rift current.
I'm not the best swimmer. I don't practice that. But swimming ain't really my thing. I to get in a pool.
Especially not since I about drowned that one time in that one story.
Yes.
If it would have been today, I don't know how I would have done it.
I like to get in pools, but I don't love to swim. If that's kind of weird. But
I'm scared of water now.
I'm scared of what's underwater.
As much, to swim in it as much anymore. I love water, to be around it and to play in it sometimes, but I'm not a pool junkie.
I'm scared of drowning. I'm scared of alligators. Alligators scare me so bad.
Sharks. I love sharks, but I don't want to meet one.
Jellyfish, stingrays,
face to face.
No. And
I thought we were about to.
And I got to the point where I was doggy paddling, strong. And
yeah, she did.
I told myself, I said, you're going to fight for yourself or you're going to die.
Your life.
You're going to die because she clearly ain't helping you. And all I have is Jesus right now. And I said, Jesus, please help me get out of this. I need out of this because I'm going deeper into this ocean. I knew. It was
sucking us into the deep.
And you got to imagine, the birds were acting weird. So we didn't know what was in that water.
I thought it was a shark. I legit thought it was a shark.
I was almost in tears, and I said, Caitlin, I am going to get ate or I'm going to drown. You got to help me. She left. And I told myself, I said, you know what? You got to start getting, me and common sense are not on the same wavelength. Yeah. I don't got no common sense. I got sense in the school department. Common sense, I struggle with. I am not very good with common sense. Caitlin's good with common sense. Sometimes. But recently she hasn't been. But I stink at the whole common sense department. So I told myself, I said, you gotta stop panicking here and you're gonna have to start thinking with this brain a little bit. So I told myself, I said, okay, how am I going to get out of this? Bunny hopping clearly isn't working, and I ain't getting no farther back with Jaws. That ain't happening. So I said, we're going to fight this.
Oh, I came back.
And I told myself, I said, all I either heard Mom's voice in my head or I heard Papa Bud's voice in my head, and it said, swim sideways.
No. Oh, Mom was at the beach, too?
Yes.
She kept going.
She kept going. She said...
And people on the beach beside her were telling us to go.
Yeah, people were running up the beach, and they said, go sideways. Go sideways. And there's actually a proven fact. I looked this up. I think it said, rip currents, I think, take you out 8 feet per second.
That's the truth.
I think it said 8 feet per second.
We must have not had an extremely strong one.
8 feet per second is how far they take, either 8 or 5 feet per second.
That's true. And it's a really weird feeling.
They said that not even Michael Phelps could get out of a rip current fast enough. And he's a professional swimmer. So we were in a bad way.
Well, according to scientists, he's as fast as a shark.
Do you believe that? I don't believe that.
No, I don't think any human could swim faster than a fish.
No, because they're like that. Anyway.
No.
And we started swimming sideways. And when you're going sideways, the ocean, I started just passing all these hotels, and
Yeah.
we didn't even know where we were. We were going so far to the side that we were almost on a whole different
Like
level
a section of the
hotels.
beach.
Like we were almost in the town area of the beach, and
Did I come back and get you?
yes. So
I think I did.
I told myself, okay, I think I'm out of a rip current now, but I was still at the same area. I just was moving sideways.
I came back and lifted her up.
So no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not. No, you didn't. Don't you even lie and try to look like a hero. You did not.
Maybe I didn't.
Mom said, Caitlin, go back for her.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're the older sister. I would think she's supposed to protect me. But no. And Mom said, Abigail, and Mom started getting in the water at this point. Like it was getting
And
kind of
that was serious.
And that's serious. Mom don't do ocean. Mom and Dad was getting in. Dad does ocean, but
He used to. He don't like to anymore.
but when
But that
Dad's
was been
coming,
like 10 years ago.
when Dad's coming in after you, you're
he was coming in
you're in
mad.
trouble.
He
You're
was
in
coming
trouble.
in mad.
And people started, like, I was drifting so fast and so far. People started reaching out to me, like, to grab me, like, people
No.
on the beach. And I'm like,
No, I
Whoa.
think women were sending their husbands in there
yeah,
to get
women
us.
were sending their husbands in there to get us. And I was like, oh, my word. It was just a bad situation. And so Caitlin finally come, and I said, Caitlin, help me up. And Caitlin come and reached out, and she said, Abigail, for the last time, stand up. And I was like, I said, you know what? There's nothing else to lose. I have nothing else to lose. Why not just try it? I have literally no strength.
Why didn't you try it 10 minutes ago?
I was fighting. I said, I have no strength in my legs. I have no strength in my arms. I cannot swim no more. And I said, you know what? I'm standing up. I stood up, and this is hilarious. I stood up, and you know what was under my feet the entire time? Sand. I was in an area when I had drifted and all that fighting I did, I was in an area of sand.
Yeah, and I knew that all along.
Where I could have stood
I wasn't
up.
being like that.
And I was in an area where I could have stood up, and Caitlin said, you should have stood up all this whole time instead of fighting so much. And I was just like, you know what? I could just slap you so hard across
But
the
we
face.
still were not in a good area. Like,
No.
it took us literally probably 10 minutes
to get back to the
to
beach.
get to the beach. Like, to actually get back to the shore.
It really did. And
It took us forever.
and when I got back on that beach, I felt like an American Ninja Warrior. I was like, you know
No,
what?
I felt like I'd been shipwrecked.
I said, you know
That's
what?
what I walked up to the shore like.
I need a trophy. I need an award for this because I just survived. You clearly all witnessed this, people.
And the
I survived.
parents were like,
And the parents, like, we did the shame walk back to the beach because we knew
yeah.
when we got back it was going to be bad. We actually didn't get in as bad as trouble as I
I
thought.
think Mom was scared we were actually in trouble.
I thought we didn't get as bad trouble as I thought, but
Probably should have.
We
But I'm not
should've.
complaining.
I'm not complaining, but it kind of, that whole story, it just kind of reminded me of what Dad said about the 3 Hebrew boys, about how they had the courage to stand, and that story kind of really fits because, in life, there's situations where we're fighting, like fighting hard. You're swimming around like a duck. Caitlin has a duck, and duck, Dewey, and he gets in the water and he just goes
Flings it everywhere.
and it's not a very friendly duck. He don't like me.
No, he's not very friendly.
He's not very friendly.
But I still love him, but...
And Caitlin has a goat, a horse, and a duck, and not only the horse likes me. And it makes me feel a little bad because her animals don't like me. But
it's her red... No animals like her. It's her red hair.
I've literally been chased around the yard by Lydia's old goat. They had an old goat, and he had horns. And I was like,
well,
no,
you teased him when he was little.
I did.
So,
I liked it.
What do you expect?
I got an issue. Me and Dad are like teasers. I love to aggravate
Like, they
people.
don't do anything bad to him. Like, they...
No, I don't abuse
But
nothing.
she was, like, teasing him, trying to get him.
Like, I'll poke him. Like, I'll just go like,
That wasn't smart. He had horns.
like, his name was Mayhem. I go, Mayhem.
And he never liked her after
And
that.
he chased me around the yard. I was like, you know what? No, we
And
ain't doing this.
a goat was funny because when they run, they pound the ground like.
And their heads are down.
And they.
I'm like, how are you seeing where you're going?
It hurts when they buck you.
And no, it's just, we're just swimming like a duck and we're just fighting things. And sometimes we just gotta stand up, Sometimes we just gotta
at least try.
You gotta quit letting things knock you down. I went through spiritual rip currents where I was getting tossed around like crazy. I was getting knocked down every second. And, we do not have to live like that.
No.
We don't have to let Satan knock us around and throw us around the whole entire ocean of life. It doesn't have to be like that. And all we have to do is stand up. And I actually was reading a book because, devotional thoughts, I kind of have a hard time getting my thoughts straight because I go a million miles a minute.
Me too.
Our mom's like that. We're I'll think about something, then I'll think about 20 different things I want to say before I say that. And so I was trying to get my thoughts in order. I was reading this the other morning, 5:45 in the morning.
I was asleep.
She sleeps. I get up early.
I like to stay up late.
She
getting up early.
She gets up, stays up late, gets up late.
Mm-hmm.
I stay up. I go to bed at 10, maybe?
No.
10.
The night is young.
9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I like to stay up and I like to sleep in, but on school days and on days where I work and all that stuff, I literally hate rushed. I hate it. I used to leave the house, my hair not brushed, half of my makeup on mascara would be on one eye and not on the other.
I would just be late. But I hate being late, so
spilled coffee all over my clothes.
My day would be ruined.
I did, and I like to work out in the mornings and all this stuff. So I was like, you know what, I ain't getting up early. So I get up early in the morning, and I work out and get my bath and everything. And I was reading this book, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to say for y'all, because I wanted to make sense, because we kind of have we understand each other, but y'all might not understand us.
Sometimes I wonder if people understand me when I speak,
because we kind of have a weird way of communicating with each other. We can tell each other through our eyes. We talk through our eyes. We don't even have to say a word. Me, Caitlin, and Lydia just literally speak whole conversations just by looking at each other. We're that close. And so
we call it telepathy.
Yeah, telepathy. If we're in a room and we make eye contact with each other, we're literally speaking.
Literally conversations.
And we're when we get in the car, when we're leaving somewhere, we're did you say that? I was exactly. That's exactly what I said. So, it's kind of hard to wrangle in what we're saying because we can understand each other, but everybody might not understand us. But anyway, I was reading about Jesus being crucified and his mom being there, and I think it was Mary's sister was there, his aunt was there, and Mary Magdalene or whatever her name is, and all this stuff. And this one little area, this one little thing it's by Liz Curtis Hicks. This one little area caught my attention, and it was talking about Jesus's aunt or Mary's sister, and it said, on a crowded, dirty thoroughfare outside the city walls, strangers walked by her nephew Jesus hanging on the cross and gaped at him, mocked him, and degraded him. She surely felt as helpless as Mary, and yet together these sisters stood and withstood. They didn't crouch in fear, they didn't turn their backs, they didn't slump on the ground in defeat, and they assuredly didn't walk away. They stood. And I was like, oh, that fits exactly with what our theme was, which is stand. And in Ephesians, we'll be done after this. But in Ephesians, because I could talk for hours. I love to talk.
You might want to tell them what that book is.
Oh, my aunt and my uncle, Mandy and Derek. Hi, if y'all are watching. Love y'all. It's The Women of Easter by Liz Curtis Hicks. I love her so much. But I'm going to be reading in Ephesians 6, verses 10 through 17, I think. And it says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. This verse says to stand a whole lot, and I didn't even notice that. Stand, therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. And above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance, and I lost my place. And supplication for all saints. And, with everything that's going on with this corona, with this election, with everything in our world today, just stand. Don't crouch in fear. Don't run away. Don't hunker down and just live your life in defeat. It doesn't have to be like that.
Oh, I have an idea.
Huh.
Like I did in the ocean, I got on sand is not solid, but I got on a more solid piece of sand. Stand on a firm foundation. Mm-hmm. Stand on what you know to be true, like your Christian
beliefs. Stand on what God says.
The Bible. Stand on the Word of God. Like whenever it's starting to get radical and you feel like you're drowning in the water of life, get on a sandbank to help yourself out, and stand on what you've been taught and and the Word of God. Stand
for what you believe in, no matter what anybody else in this world is doing, or no matter how many people turn to the way that we don't follow. That doesn't mean you have to. You stand for what you believe in, and at the end, it will be okay. Even if it doesn't turn out okay now, it will turn out okay, because in the end, we win anyway, because God has already won. So, we hope y'all enjoyed this little story time. The dogs are barking like crazy, and we're in my building.
Bunker.
So, we're in the underground bunker. So, we will see y'all next Friday. We love y'all.
Love
Bye.
y'all. Bye.